Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whatever it may be. But I got a purpose for making this video here. Um, I was contracted out by Zeitview, and there was a claim that I didn't do the thermal. So they told me they weren't going to pay. Well, this is the thermal for Home Depot on 409 North Jackson Road, not Avenue, in Far, Texas. And that was another problem. The address and the email that they sent me was for a different Home Depot, and it was at 409 Jackson Avenue, and I think it was Southeast Jackson Avenue, and they probably sent me to the wrong place and just told me this lie. But the time I spent uh, out there was I got there at 10 o'clock in the morning, checked in on the app. Uh, the flights that were originally, going to be, like I did two thermals actually. The Now the drone deploy was working with Zeitview to get drone pilots to come out here, and the drone pilot's job was to, in their controller, they would load these flight plans and just basically take off and let the flight plan take over and take the shots it needs. So basically, as a drone pilot on these type of flights, all I had to do was just take my controller and take off, and then the flight plan was prearranged. And if you know, right here it says 2 minutes and 45 seconds, 5 acres, 70 images. Well, when you get out on the side and you controller on that particular day, it actually took 9 minutes. Now I'm going there. That's not. You say, well, that's nothing. And there was quite a few more images. Like 5 times as many. And here's another one where they say it's going to take 22 minutes and 6 acres, 915 minutes in one battery. Now this is where it gets. When out there flying, this thing actually took 95 minutes and 3 batteries. Typically, a person's only going to carry a max of 4, so we've already spent on batteries. But I brought out a solar powered solar station that I was charging my batteries as I go. And I was able to keep up with the battery need. Here's another one with the full sight, and they're saying 8 minutes. It actually took, pretty close to an hour and 3 batteries. Uh, Again, and it was hot that day, and it was fairly windy. Mm. Now, these were all panos that I had to fly here. Now, here's the one in the garden center. Now, I was parked over here, and the guys who programmed the flight put it 30 feet high, and then it stops here right at the face of this entryway, and it says, "Do you want to turn off crash control?" And I'm like, "No." And so I put it back to home. I ended up coming over here to this corner, getting up and getting that done. And that's the walk around the building. But as you can see, there was a lot of work done, and it took quite a bit of time. Now, this is the email where they tell me, "We appreciate your effort into the mission. Unfortunately, we are unable to use the assets provided as the required thermal imaging was not captured." Now, you just saw it. It's there. It's in their hands. And as a result, we have arranged a reshoot and are sourcing a pilot with a thermal drone to complete the task. Now, what they're actually doing is stealing my work and refusing to pay me on a lie. And again, I want to warn you guys that well, the amount of money that was involved for that work was $400. Uh, and they sent me an Insta360 camera because this was an additional to the scope of work that I signed up for. And I've never used the Insta3 camera. It didn't work with my Android phone. It doesn't work with any Android phones. And this is another one of the things that popped up, that it was everything they had done never worked like it was supposed to. It was a struggle. So I ended up buying a refurbished laptop and iPad, I should say, and it worked with the Instagram program from Deploy. Drone Deploy is the one that has the software that's set up. Again, Drone Deploy contacted Zeitiew. Zeitiew gets the pilots. The pilots upload to Drone Deploy. I don't think they ever really saw anything or anything like that, but they definitely didn't know what they were doing. Even through their app, when you check in and check out, they didn't even know if you were there or not. But that right there, you saw the thermal. It is up there. And completely, they had this set up from the start, because as soon as the Instagram registered at UPS that they had me ship that camera to the next guy. And as soon as UPS registered that they received the package, they came back with this here. Right, I tell them that we dropped it off, and then they come back and tell us that they're not going to pay me, and I don't think they're even gonna. There is no need to resource. The whole thing from the start was because he came back to me and said, let me see, they're telling us you don't have a matrix 4T, and I reached over, I took pictures of it, and I sent it to them, and they go, and I send me an email saying, thank you for verifying that you have a matrix 4T. And then they come back and tell me that I didn't do the thermal, and they're going to get somebody with thermal done. They're implying that I don't have a thermal dome. Well, you've seen it in my other YouTube videos. I do have a thermal dome. I've used it to view the deer and stuff, and you've seen it on this here too. You started it out though. It's the thermal, and I couldn't leave until I flew that at 30 minutes after sunset, and I looked up sunset, and it was like 8:50 that night, something like that, and it was 8:51, and I took off at 8:52. Uh, Actually, as soon as it took up, it flipped over to 8:52. Now, again, unfortunately, and it really saddens me that there are people out there that will do this to other people. Fortunately, this was not a situation where I've needed the money. Uh, this is more of it's a side hustle basically. I could live off perfectly fine with the money I have now, but I just do this kind of stuff, and sometimes I ask myself why. This is something I probably don't want to do, and in the future, I've already discontinued my account with Zeitview, and the other two accounts are, that I've got for contracting out. Uh, it's the same thing. You don't get paid until they get the pictures. And if they keep the pictures and decide that they ain't gonna pay you, what are you gonna do? Because the amount of money squabbling here, like $400 is, yeah, it's a good chunk of money, but it's not enough to go to court over because you got to pay the lawyer fees, and the lawyer's like looking at you, what for? Just take a loss, grow up, and get moving. And uh, actually, that's pretty close to what they told me. Tried to get, uh, but I just wanted to make this clear that people shouldn't have to tolerate this kind of stuff in today's society. And unfortunately, we do.